You'd be surprised how many times we forget to do this. Okay.
Hello. Yep. Hello. Welcome, everybody. It's lovely to see so many people in person. And we've managed to actually find a date which isn't affected by a train strike. So we appreciate everyone coming out this evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kerry Townsend. I have been working with Marketing Cloud for a number of years, and I started working with Marketing Cloud on a client project and needed to learn quickly, so sort out places where people met in person to connect to people that use the tool. So hopefully we can help you in your journey and connect you with lots of other people. And my co-host, Jimson.
Yeah, hi, everybody. I'm Jimson Lee. I'm with Cloud Analyst. I'm a Salesforce SME. Our primary focus is mainly Marketing Cloud, CDP, Genie, and Datorama. So I actually stumbled across Salesforce back in 2005. And I still have the one user personal edition of Salesforce. And I was lucky to be working with ExactTarget in 2009. And along the way, 2013, the acquisition of Marketing Cloud. And here it is, 9 years later. And here we are doing Marketing Cloud, including Pardot, as we know. So yeah, let's get on with the show. And I think we're ready to, yeah.
So, yep, this is our agenda. So we'll do some short announcements and then we're going to hand over to Tom, who is going to talk to you about Genie, which I am very much looking forward to. We have some time for some Q&A there, so please bring out your questions. And then some of you may have already seen that I have a slide which I'll bring up where we're looking to gather information about what you want to see next year at our meetings. So there's a QR code and a means of there we go. Thank you, Jimson. So it really helps us for you to let us know what you want to see from our meetings. And then we can go out and look and see if we can source those topics. So during the session today, if you can go on that QR code, fill in the form and provide us with some ideas about what you'd want to see. If you fill in the form during the meeting today, I'm going to do a prize draw at the end and someone will take home or be sent out for those online a set of Beats headphones, which are the in-ear ones. I do have them somewhere. I'll bring them up when we do the prize draw, but it really helps us. So can I mention again, it really helps us. So if you can fill that form in, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. There we go. We have some willing volunteers.
All right. Okay.
Hang on.
That's the agenda.
Yep, next. No. There we go. So some of you may have heard of London's Calling. I'm pleased that I've got Louise here, who I work with on that. Shall I call it a project endeavor? Well, I wouldn't go, passion project. Let's call it that. There we go. So London's Calling, for those of you who don't know, is a one-day event where we share the sorts of talks that you might see at community groups, but it's on a much bigger scale. So we have we have over 50 talks. Typically we have, I'm going to say we have 6/7 rooms where we can put content in, which we generally have tracks, and we have a marketing automation track. So there is content for the people that would be attending in this meeting. I would love to see more marketing people apply. Even more so, I would love to see lots of marketing people submit talks and present at the event, so if you keep an eye out, that call for presentations will come out sometime between now and the event. But helpful, suitably vague. But the tickets are now on sale. So it's on the 9th of September. It's in London. It's at the brewery. If you are interested in attending, please go onto the website, which is londonscalling.net. Tickets are available. They are selling reasonably well. I look forward to seeing you there, and hopefully I might even see some of you speak.
And it does sell out, guys. Right? So be warned, it does sell out.
Lovely. So that brings us on to some meetups that are coming up. So we are joining with the Pardot group, and we are looking to have a Christmas meetup on the 12th of December. It is very close to being confirmed, and we have avoided the train strikes on this particular date, but we will be doing some sort of meetup. So watch out in the next week or so for the sign up for that. And then there is also another exciting Christmas gets together. So the London Women in Tech admins and devs are all meeting on the 8th of December. for that mega meet. So there is an opportunity to come and be social with more Salesforce people there. And then London Architects, which is a relatively new group, I think this will be their second meeting, are meeting on the 6th of December. And they have some of the architect evangelist team coming over, and they're talking about the well-architected framework. So I'm not sure if any of you will have seen on the architect, I'm going to call it a mini site, that's probably vintage terminology, that they're talking about the well-architected framework, and which pretty much talks about principles working with, particularly across cloud. So if any of you out there are architects, you'll want to be at least listening to the latest sort of information that Salesforce are putting out and how they're positioning the product.
Okay.
And then
So before we start the main talk, I just want to talk about CDP and Genie, because I belong to a lot of Slack groups. I belong to a lot of WhatsApp groups. Everybody wants to know more about CDP and Genie. How do I get more information? So if you go to Salesforce website, you get all this 3-minute, 2-minute videos, fast talking, American talks, what it is. You don't know what it is. If you go to our YouTube channel, please, I'll send a link in the chat in a few minutes, and please like and subscribe our channel. There was a great meetup we had last month with Matt Morris, and he gave his view about Genie because he was there at Dreamforce. He was actually there. He researched the material. I wrote an article on my blog, on the Cloud Analyst blog, about what Genie is. And if you ask me, I'll summarize your whole talk here. It's really CDP on steroids. That's what I would tell people. And then I'll pass on to Tom. But I think there's so much material out there about Genie that I think it's good to have everyone here today, and we'll get some first-hand information about what it is, what it can be used for, some case studies, and why or why not you should buy it. So I think without further ado,
we'll hand over to Tom, because again, this is new. So the more people that we crowdsource our information from and the different perspectives, the more we'll all know. Lovely. Thank you, Tom.
Stop sharing.
All right, thanks everyone for joining, and Jimson's given a great sort of introduction there. So we'll go through the sort of agenda and the things we want to cover. So first of all, just an introduction to Slalom, and then an intro to CDP initially. So some of you may have heard of CDP, implemented it before, but if not, we'll give you a bit of an overview of what CDP is to start with, and then how Genie enhances that further. So we'll talk about the magic of Genie, how that does enhance CDP, but actually the whole Salesforce platform as well. So why Genie? We'll cover a couple of use cases specific for marketing. So we'll very much focus on marketing. But as I mentioned, there are kind of sales and service use cases. Genie is kind of, will kind of revolutionize the whole platform. But yeah, we'll focus on the marketing use cases today. And then Sachi will give a bit of an overview of some of the build details, so some of the specifics that you'll need to know about Genie. So first of all, just an intro to Slalom. So welcome everyone to our office today. So we're a top Salesforce partner. We implement Salesforce globally. So we're across 43 markets, over 13,000 consultants across Europe, US, Canada, Asia Pacific. We were the first full stack marketing cloud certified consulting company. And yeah, just a strong Salesforce partner in this space. So I currently lead our marketing cloud team in the UK, but I've worked very closely with our global team as well. So first of all, CDP, and some of you may have implemented CDP or are very familiar with this, but just a kind of intro for those who haven't. So CDP, customer data platforms, are all about kind of creating that full customer profile. So your marketing data is across various sources, often quite siloed. CDP is all about bringing that together for segmentation purposes. So for example, you've got data around who's visiting your website, who's engaging with emails, who's posting on social media. Quite often there are bits of information about, let's call it, so let's use a kind of the Craig as our persona. So Craig might be buying something online, he might be in store, he might be posting on social media. This data about Craig is in various places, and it's all about bringing that data on Craig together to form Craig's profile. So in essence, that's kind of what CDP is, and then we'll talk about how Genie fits on top of that and further enhances it. So what is Salesforce Genie? So I guess as Jimson introduced it, kind of CDP on steroids is a good way of describing it. Kind of enhanced CDP. Real time is mentioned a lot there, and it is all about kind of bringing CDP real time. So large volumes of data in real time is what kind of Genie is all about. So an example of that is based on transactional data. You can see in real time who's purchasing online, who's literally just posted something on social media, bringing that in real time, and then your call to actions can be based on that. So literally things happening in real time, and then I'm posting out messages to those customers, sort of personalized messages as we go. So we'll talk through some of the use cases, but in essence, that's what Genie is all about. So some of the typical marketing use cases are sort of digital experience personalization. So as I mentioned, making sure you get those personalized messages out there based on your transactional data and your real-time data. Advanced segmentation, so how we're building that customer profile in real time. So we're bringing that data together, how they're engaging online, what they're purchasing in store, what they're doing in social media, bringing that together to form that full kind of customer 360 profile. And then message personalization. So based on how they're engaging with us, we can personalize those messages out to customers. So some of the Genie and CDP features, it's probably fairly small, but just to give you a bit of an overview here, on the left-hand side, we've got the various data sources. So we can bring in data from various sources built into the Genie data model. So this is kind of a new data model that will sit in Salesforce. And then from that, we can then, what's been possible up to now is to kind of use that data for analytics purposes. But now we're sort of bringing in AI and then kind of call to action. We can use that data based on the Genie data model to then kind of further personalized communications and use AI to drive engagement, so that we can build that into flows and journeys, for example. I guess in our example of Craig, what we'll do is kind of pull in those different sources of data for Craig across the different platforms, fill out that kind of customer profile, see where he's engaging, and then we can sort of personalize messages out to him based on that information. Any questions? We'll go over to Sachi for some of the specifics around Genie, but any initial questions? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I believe you can. So I think so B2B MA, I guess is doing some of that already, kind of bringing it together in analytics. And I get that this is more kind of using that data for particular flows, but you can, yeah, that'll be possible to bring it in. Yeah. Any other questions? Sure, yeah. So I think the example we've got there is sort of MuleSoft. So you'll still need a connector to sort of bring that data in. Effectively, what Genie will provide is that sort of data model and that real-time kind of transactional data. But you'll still need a connector like MuleSoft or Snowflake to sort of bring that data in initially. So that's kind of how we're initially connecting, pulling in the data, and then it's all around that new data model with Genie and how that kind of forms that customer profile. It's further enhancing, and Sachi will get into some of the more technical details, but yeah, it's further enhancing CDP. However, it is across the whole Salesforce platform. So we'll kind of go into some of that. This is more focused on enhancing CDP, but this sits across sales, service as well. So Genie is kind of applying to all of them. But, so yeah, Sachi, hand over to you to go into some of the details. So I think if you purchase CDP today, then you'll get Genie with it. So I think that's that's kind of how it works ongoing. Obviously, up to now, it's been possible to purchase CDP as a kind of segmentation tool, but Genie sort of further enhances that. And anyone now purchasing CDP will get Genie built in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it's not. No. So it's, I guess in the case here, Marketing Cloud is a prerequisite for some of the use cases we're talking about, but you could use it just for Sales Cloud purposes. So I wouldn't say there's kind of one prerequisite that you need Sales Cloud or you need any Marketing Cloud, because there are kind of use cases across different areas of the platform. Yes. Yeah, and CDP. Yeah. 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 Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. In Trailhead, I'm not sure. Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. 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 That's a very good question, actually, and I'm not sure that's something we'd have to start looking at. I don't know, Jimson, if you know. So, yeah. 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 Yes. Generally available. Yeah. 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 Okay.
Where along the road is going to be accessible to companies other than massive enterprise customers? Because along your lines of in Trailhead, well, it's not really going to be something that's on a roadmap or feasible for any company unless they've got a very large amount of.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we have seen it implemented at some smaller clients where they have this sort of siloed data across various sources. It's not cheap, but for them it was kind of a big investment because they had such problems with the siloed data. It was so in this case it was a football club, so that it was really important for them to sort of bring that data about the fans and what are they doing on the website, are they a signed up member, what are they doing on social media, but that was all scattered about everywhere. They couldn't build that kind of full fan profile. Yeah, so it was key for them.
People on the call say they can't hear the questions, so if you have a question, just raise your hand. I'll give you the microphone.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, or I'll hand over to Sachi. Cool.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sachi. I am a global marketing cloud team member at Slalom, and I am the principal in the team and working as marketing cloud technical architect. So now we'll go the build part of the Genie, how it is built and what it is doing. Before that we cover the CDP, right? So we have to the question will be arise, what is the difference between CDP and Genie, and how it is, what is Genie and what is CDP, what is new in Genie. That's why the question you asked, like if there will be CDP, then if Genie comes, what will happen to CDP? So first thing is, we can say like CDP is the platform, which is giving that, that path to enablement of Genie. It's not like you can't say that okay, Genie will be using that CDP platform, whatever it was using, like all these connectors with the data and all, it will be using that. But again, as you rightly said, it will be the enhancement of CDP, customer data platform. But what we can say is the Genie is a broader concept. It's not only customer data platform, it is a broader concept. Customer data platform, what we see is it was storing the transactional data, and it was storing the historical data here. But when we are talking about Genie, we are talking about the real-time data. And real-time data means it is integrated with all this, like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Commerce Cloud. You can see, like if you follow the Dreamforce, the example was like if your credit card has been stolen and you have reported it, and that person, like if it is purchased somewhere in your credit card, and using the Commerce Cloud, the credit card will be auto blocked. So it is instantly real time, and that data will be updated in every millisecond. So if you have used CDP, what CDP does is you will creating the data sources in CDP, and that data sources is in Marketing Cloud. And it is updated through the automations, right? And that automation is every 1 hour, it will be minimum is 1 hour. So if when we are doing the marketing cloud synchronization with Service Cloud or any Salesforce cloud, so we have that 15 minutes synchronization, right? Marketing cloud. In CDP, it is 1 hour, so minimum. So now they have come up with this product concept like Genie, which will be using this CDP technology. But again, that will be instant, like, you have all this customer data stitching together, like you in one source, what they have analyzed is like, one organization, they are using 900 or more than 900 of applications, right? So your data is scattered everywhere. So if I have, I am going to an organization, someone is using their mobile, I'm using their mobile application, I'm using their web application, I am going to the store, there my data is. So all this data in siloed. So all this data has been come to Genie, and that data, they have created a 360 view of the customer. So all this data is there, like, my first name, last name, what I have done in the website, all these tracking details are there. And if I have done anything, that data will be updated at, in the fraction of seconds. So that's why they call it the real-time CRM. Salesforce Genie, they call it the real-time CRM. And once the data is updated, you use that data, send it to Marketing Cloud and execute your communications, like, send your emails and all. But we will be focusing on like the implementation part. So these are the 5 key steps. And why I'm saying 5, the last one is the connectivity. We will just talk about it later. Connectivity means it is connecting the, your data is going to Dataroma, like the Marketing Cloud Intelligence, or the Tableau, like you are sending the data there, the real-time data there, and you are creating the dashboards. So that is the connectivity part. But we will be talking about these 5 key steps while we are implementing the Genie. So that is provisioning, data ingestion, data mapping, segmentation, and activation. But as we have done the implementation, what we have seen is, if you go the backward approach, that will be the best use case for you, which will, it will give you the success for that. So why I am saying that, see, think about the activation. So what is activation? Activation means, as a marketer, I want to run some campaign. So I want to run some campaign means I have to think about, okay, who are my audiences, and I am going to reach out to them, right? I'm going to send an email or SMS communication or push communication. So activation means, okay, I have to run my campaign, and I have to send an email to my end users. Now, for campaign, what I need? For campaign, I need audience, right? And who will be my audiences? So again, that time it comes the segmentation. So segmentation will give you the audience. That's why we are going backwards, right? The implementation will be backwards. So you have the segmentation, and that segmentation you will give it, in Genie, right? So you have all the data stitched together. You have used, your segmentation criteria, and you have the segmentation. You have got your audience now. Now come to the data mapping. So if you have the audience, how you will get the audience, right? So you need some fields, right? To fields which will give you that audience, like you have to use those fields to create your segmentation. So in that case, the data mapping will come into picture. So you have used that fields to use your, created the data mapping to get your segmentation. Now I have the fields. From where the fields will come? So in that, the data ingestion will come into picture. So there all the sources of the data is there, right? So your data is there, your sales team, your marketing team, or your, your store data, your purchase data, your product data, all this data is there. So these sources, I will have those fields. And then the data ingestion part is there. You know the sources, you know the fields, you have done the mappings. Now you have done the segmentations. Now you have done the activations. That data has come to the Marketing Cloud, and you have created your, but again, where the provision is coming into picture. So you have all the sources, and what you will do, like which data I have to bring in. So whether it is a good profile for me, or based on the row count, I have to get the data into. You can't bring all the data, right? So you will be provisioning the source, and that source will come into as part of the data ingestion. The data ingestion, the next step you will be do the data mapping, then the segmentation, then the activation and connectivity. As I said, once your data is all set there and you are passing that data to data room, like marketing intelligence or Tableau or any reporting tool to bring your dashboard. So this is the implementation part, like, how you will be implementing Salesforce Genie and, Marketing Cloud. I think there will be a lot of questions in this, like any questions regarding this slide, because this will be your implementation part and this is very important to understand the flow.
Questions?
So, I mean, as you highlighted, the sync between Salesforce and Marketing Cloud is 15 minutes as it stands, whereas previously with CDP, it was 1 hour. So if you had a situation where you're using CDP, Marketing Cloud and Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud would still be able to get the information over into the Marketing Cloud environment before you then did something and activated it through CDP. Now that Genie is in real time, it is possible that information will have gone into Genie. It will have sent some sort of indication or journey to send something from Marketing Cloud before the Marketing Cloud connector has synced. So do customers or people that are going to be using CDP enhanced by Genie mean that they don't need the connector anymore?
Okay, so now there is a catch. Here there is a catch. So when we are talking about, now we have touched 3 things. One is Marketing Cloud Salesforce connector, Sales Cloud through Marketing Cloud Connect. Now there is CDP and now it is Genie. So when we are talking about CDP, we are not talking about one source of data. It's like CDP is, we are stitching data from the different sources, but Marketing Cloud and Salesforce, it is not doing that. What we are doing in Marketing Cloud and Salesforce Marketing, Salesforce connector is, we are identifying the objects from Salesforce, right? Whether it is a contact object, whether it is account object, we are identifying the objects and that we are syncing into Marketing Cloud. CDP, and when we are comparing with that with CDP, it is not equal. CDP, what it is doing, it is not only Salesforce, it is taking the data from different silos applications. So that is not equal to this. Now we have the data in CDP. What is Genie on top of that is, when we are talking about Genie, so it is like all this data, same thing, it will be in Genie, but the technology is that it will be updated in milliseconds. So that data, it's not through automations like what we do in CDP and Marketing Cloud is, we are creating the data sources and that is creating, in the background, it is creating the automations in Marketing Cloud and that is getting refreshed in every 1 hour. But Genie, what it is doing is, it will be through this API ingestions and all. So the data will be there. When there is an update in your source system, that data will get updated in the Genie's platform. So, and that if you have connected to Marketing Cloud, so you use that data to Marketing Cloud and then create your journeys and all these things.
Does that mean ingestion is in real time, but activation is not in real time?
Yeah, activation, it depends upon your, how you will be doing the activation. So the activation is, you are creating a campaign. So you are creating a campaign means you will be creating a journey through your campaign. And in that journey, so the data is coming from Genie, right? So it will be real time. So as the data is get updated in the Genie, that data will pass to Marketing Cloud.
Okay, so then the connector, in a pure situation, I appreciate that data is coming from all sorts of sources, but you may have some sort of use case where the trigger is somebody purchases, I want to immediately send them an email or an SMS, in which case, although they might be doing things on other platforms, that really just connects the system that you're recording it in, the system that you're engaging with them in. And in that case, that real-time nature would mean that Genie goes straight into Marketing Cloud.
Yes.
And the Marketing Cloud Connect does not serve a purpose for that use case.
Yeah, for that use case. You are absolutely correct. So here it is like, you have the profile, and in the profile, you have all the data. Once the data is updated in the source and it is updated in Genie. So once it is updated in Genie, that we are integrated with Marketing Cloud and it will immediately trigger the.
Hi there, just a quick question. Looking into CDP at the moment, doesn't CDP already have that real-time ability with streaming insights?
Yeah. So what CDP is doing is you are creating the data stream in CDP, right? So in the marketing cloud, what it does, you will be creating the shared data extensions, right? In CDP, when you will creating data sources in CDP, and that will be doing in shared data extension in marketing cloud. And that shared data extension, if you see, it is not immediate real time. It will be 1 hour gap. If you see the automation, it will be minimum 1 hour. It takes minimum 1 hour to update that data there. So that's why in Genie, it is, fraction of seconds, like milliseconds, the data will be updated. And once it is integrated with marketing cloud, we'll have the data there.
Who's next, Christina?
So I just basically wanted to clarify. So the data will be updated after an hour using the marketing cloud connector, but the execution of, for example, email notification will going to happen instantly, correct? Because like the Genie will not going to update the data. It will just going to execute, for example, the campaign, but then the actual marketing cloud connector will going to update the data later 1 hour.
No. So here it is. The marketing cloud connector, we are talking about 3 things here. One is marketing cloud and Salesforce connector. That is the marketing cloud connector, which is called the native connector. Yeah. Second one is the CDP one. The CDP, what it does is when you are creating the data sources in CDP, that is getting reflected in marketing cloud. And that is getting updated through automation in marketing cloud. So you create a data source in CDP, and that will be create a shared data extension in marketing cloud. And you will see that the automation is created in marketing cloud, and that getting running in every 1 hour. Now, what it comes in Genie is, so Genie, it is creating the profile of the customer, and the the fields are getting updated there. Once the fields is updated there, you have integrated Genie with marketing cloud. So you will trigger that, for example, my transaction, like, I purchased something and my points got increased. So I will be getting a notification that this is your latest balance of the points and all. So it will be instantly. So that's why, we call it like, we are talking about 3 kind of connectors here, not only marketing cloud Salesforce, but CDP and again, yeah.
Next question.
I think it's a more basic question coming backwards. Reading a couple of articles and seeing a couple of videos, my understanding was Genie and CDP are the same. Now, after hearing your words, is it that CDP is different and Genie is different?
Okay, so that's what I said. CDP is the platform which is giving the way for the Genie, to it's called the implementation, the Genie. So they call it Genie as the, it's a broad overview, broader concept. So CDP is not there everywhere, right? So CDP is not, Genie is like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. Genie is with every Salesforce product, you will be seeing it. You will be getting, benefited out of the Genie. So that's why you think it like in a broader perspective that Genie is a concept, like, they call it a concept which will be using this CDP platform. It will be using that customer. It's like, you are storing the data in CDP, right? The Genie will be storing the data, but there will be, this is the platform, but then that data will be through different, the API sources and all. It will be doing the real time ingestion of the data into Genie. So it's not kind of, you can't say it is, as I said, it is not same or it is not different. So now it is saying that, okay, it is different because the pricing and the, it is not yet announced, right? What will be the pricing of the Genie and all, but the architecture will be different. The underlying architecture of CDP and Genie will be completely different.
So moving forward, also customers can buy only CDP.
Yeah, if it is, once Genie comes, right? So, it is, once it will be available to the market. So I think Genie will be there. So CDP, you will be using CDP, but Genie will be there. The customer data platform technology will be used, but Genie will be there.
Okay. It's the same as Einstein many years ago. If you go to Dreamforce and rewind those videos, you can see that you thought Einstein was going to be part of CRM. And it was, but then they extended another product that's paid and a third product premium. So I think I will see the same thing.
Yeah, what they call it, the real-time Einstein. So what Genie, they call it the real-time Einstein. So, the Einstein was is there, like the artificial intelligence, which is Salesforce platform is using. So they call it Genie is the real-time Einstein. So it will be, giving you the suggestions and the real-time data ingestion, the real-time data use. So.
Any more questions? One more question back here. How many more slides do you have?
Yeah, we'll be.
How many more slides do you have?
3 more, yeah.
Okay.
So you mentioned we have, like, you were talking about 3 different types of connectivity. So given that we have that instant real-time connectivity or activation, I guess, what is the use cases to have the CDP generated automations in Marketing Cloud?
Okay, so you think like I am a customer and I have purchased something, right? My purchase data is there in one system. My PII data is there in another system. I have gone to the website, my tracking data is there in one system. So all this data has been come to CDP, right? In different sources, it has been integrated and come to CDP. So that is the best example. Like, you can't have this data, if you want to put it into Marketing Cloud, how you'll be doing it? Okay, first I will connect to the Service Cloud or Sales Cloud. I will get the data from the object. I will using the FTP to get the data from somewhere and do it. For example, the tracking data and all, also the same thing I will be doing. But in CDP, you have that customer data with all these 3 things, right? So, and that data has been passed to Marketing Cloud to carry out your communications. So that is the example of CDP, right? How the data is coming from different sources, stitching together in CDP and passed to Marketing Cloud. So yeah, that's what. Yeah, it is. When we are saying that data, it will be not like 1 hour it will be taking to refresh the data. The CDP data, how it is getting refreshed through the automations. But Genie, what they call it, it will be refreshed in every milliseconds. That it will be a real-time data. Yes. Yeah.
Less of a product. Less of a product.
Yeah.
By CDP now to get the Genie functionality.
Yeah.
The technology.
You need the microphone. Hang on. Can you talk to the microphone? People can't. Are we answering the question or?
Yeah, I just don't see why we need the automations to have the data that is an hour old.
No automation. It's like how the CDP works right now. The CDP works in the background when you are creating the data sources in CDP. That data sources creating a data extension, shared data extension in Marketing Cloud, and that in the behind what it is doing, it is creating an automation to refresh that data. In the shared data extension, what you see is it is refreshing the data in Marketing Cloud.
Hi, so I'm relatively new to Marketing Cloud, so I'm trying to visualize what you're saying, and this is more of a suggestion than a question. Is it possible to have scenario representation saying, if this happens, this is where the connectors are redundant, for example, or they're not redundant, but they're boosted by Genie, or I think that would really help someone like me who's relatively new to understand the differences.
Okay,
it's just a suggestion.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So there are some real-time examples. Like your patient's data is with the with the organization, and they will be suggesting the real time. If you are using the patient is using a pacemaker, so the real time they have all this data, and if they are using Genie, so they will be suggesting like when is your next appointment will be, or if there is a any default with that, all these things. So Genie will be using all your real time data, giving to the and at the real time only. So as I gave the example of credit card, what they've said it like if it is lost and that has been purchased in the Commerce Cloud, in the website, and that is using the Commerce Cloud. And then at the same time, it will be, the credit card will be blocked.
Sorry, thanks for that clarification. So what I'm hearing is, if I've got a pacemaker, for example, then the consultants can get that real-time information. But if, let's say, on Salesforce or something else, I'm due for a renewal or I'm due for a new service update, that will still sync to the platform and still carry on. Genie doesn't replace that. It just enhances or supports better use cases.
Yes, so the technology is already there. Like the customer data platform is already there. So it is using that customer data platform, and it is doing the real-time transactions. So already the technology is there. CDP was already there. Before CDP, it was Audience 360. So it's CDP is not new. Customer data platform is not new. So Audience 360 was there. Now it is replaced with Salesforce CDP, and now they are coming up with the broader concept Genie.
More questions?
We'll go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are a lot, thanks for asking the good questions. So here it is, as we said, it's a real-time customer 360, real-time flow automations, real-time Einstein AI. As I said, it is the real-time Einstein, what they call the Genie is, and it is used in the hyperscale data platform. Hyperforce is the base for all the Salesforce products. So it is also used, Genie is used on the Hyperforce platform. Yeah, we'll go to the next one. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
You repeat that, sorry.
Just saying, Hyperforce is required to have Genie, isn't it?
So yeah, so Hyperforce is required there to have Genie.
Which I think is a bit of an issue with some countries, and some can be a blocker.
Question?
No, here the Hyperforce platform, which is building all these Salesforce products. So that is required for Genie to have that platform. So, and in some countries, like I think there is an issue with this technology, like Hyperforce, the database on which that has been built, the Salesforce product has been built, right?
So Hyperforce is something that they're rolling out. It starts in various regions and various countries. There'll be other countries that have data residency requirements, which mean that the Hyperforce has not been rolled out to the full extent that they can harness it yet.
I think they are they're doing it page-wise. Yeah. Yeah. So this will be our last slide. So how is Salesforce Genie built? Yeah, I think we have covered most of the things, like the flow, as I said, like the Einstein one. So Genie is built using the Salesforce metadata model, which makes everything actionable. And again, the Genie uses the Salesforce metadata model. It can tap into Einstein for real-time predictions. And it is the hyperscale data platform we just talked about that ingests and stores real-time data streams at massive scales. You can store as many data in Genie and combines it to Salesforce data. Yeah, Genie runs on Hyperforce, Salesforce public cloud infrastructure. Like all the Salesforce products has been built on the Hyperforce platform. I think, yeah, any questions?
The only thing is that he's correct. You can store millions, unlimited volumes of data in Genie, but the minute you do a send, they become a unified profile and they count towards your contacts count in Salesforce. And it's 3 times the price of a single contact. So it does add up, but you can still store mega blobs, terablobs of data. The minute you send, that's where the money is.
Yeah, I think the next one will be what is coming next in Genie. So this is, all about what we just discussed. And if you want to know more about Genie, I think go in this link and you will get it. I think they are asking for your email address. You will be giving it there, and you will get the demo and all the details about the Genie.
I think it's a QUIP document, so
yeah,
you'll be forced to sign up. Yeah.
Next. Okay, that's all.
10 minutes of questions if you like.
Any questions?
Any more questions?
Maybe if they gave it a more descriptive name. there'd be like Genie is nice, but we could suggest other names. Like, is it Louise? Yeah, no. But I mean, at one point, I'm thinking it's like the real-time data synchronization element of Genie, not of, oh my God, of CDP. So it's the technology that allows the real-time element, which sprinkles the sparkle over CDP and then unlocks a whole load of other use cases. That, I mean, I'm looking at people at the front to see whether they're cringing at what I'm saying, but
the thing with Einstein, it cost the Salesforce $7 million a year, right? Just for the rights to use the name Einstein. So I think Genie, they probably, I don't know, got it free or called Walt Disney or something. I don't know.
What I would say is that I've sat through, enjoyed lots of different sessions. I've even met with some of the product owners of Genie, and what I know is still this much compared to what I feel I should know is this much. So if you're all scratching your heads, don't worry. You and everyone else in the ecosystem, that, you know, it's very early days. As we say, it's not even, you can't even actually buy it yet, I don't think. Think of it more as a change to the platform that enables all these things that we've been talking about. And also most of our customers will never be able to afford it.
And I think the reason we've mentioned real time probably about 500 times today is that's how Salesforce kind of distinguish themselves in the market of CDP. I guess if you look at Adobe, other CDP platforms, look on their website, it would all be about real time CDP. This is Salesforce differentiator is it's a real-time CRM, I think as Sachi mentioned. So it's something they haven't had up to now, but a lot of the competitors in the CDP market have had. So it's about kind of emphasizing that sort of real-time aspect.
And when we say about the real time, it's the sync between Genie and Marketing Cloud, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So using Genie, you can calculate certain things.
Yeah.
And that can also be ingested to Marketing Cloud in real time.
Yes. Yeah.
I know it's very early days, but do we have some visibility on how complicated can be your segmentations in Genie, or how complicated your calculation can be, so that if there is any minutes of delays, anything as such between the sync between Genie and marketing?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think because it is very early, we haven't seen yet kind of where the limitations might lie, just kind of, how complex it can get.
Yeah.
I guess when speaking to Salesforce about this, they use examples like if I'm Coca-Cola and I want to every possible customer of Coca-Cola out there, this makes that possible. You could have literally billions, trillions of records in there and do segmentation based on that, which hasn't been possible up to now. I guess you're sort of limited in terms of the database you're working with. You could literally scale this to every possible customer of Coca-Cola or certain footwear, for example.
We need a part 2 of this in the next couple of months, I think. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I agree with Jimson, like maybe a part 2 in terms of once we see more actual live use cases. But I think like it is going to be the large organizations that are using this, but then they also are the ones that are trying to solve those real life large data problems. The smaller organizations aren't hampered so much by the volume of data because they're working on a different, maybe lower level of problems than those that have really tweaked and already implemented CDP to a strong level.
And one thing I was going to say, the one thing that caught my attention when I've heard things about it is that I believe, because again, like I've said a few times, that I think this is a structural system change more than anything else. They'll be selling it as X, Y, and Z. But what I've heard a few times now is that this is what will bring Marketing Cloud closer structurally to core, which those of us who work with Marketing Cloud will be all for. That's how, how we can see it getting there. So I think this is a stepping stone to that. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think so. You want to answer that, or? I think it's a stepping stone, like any Salesforce product that comes out. It takes time for it to mature. I remember when Marketing Cloud or bought Exact Target, the first 2 years are brutal. Ask anybody here who was in that space. It was just not a stable product. Now it's pretty rock solid. So I think give it some time, like Einstein, a plug for Will Turner and his group on the Tableau CRM user group. I mean, they're doing a wonderful job with meetups and with presentations. That product has quite matured. We have Einstein and Marketing Cloud. There are 4 great products or features of Marketing Cloud Einstein that's available when you're from corporate edition above. I think that's another good thing to look into. But I think that as the Salesforce matures on, it'll be more and more connected, better and better with time. Before we go, do you want time to do the draw? That's why I was pausing. Yeah, slide.
Lovely. Okay, so it's me again with my form asking you what you might want to see next year. So if there's anyone either online or in the room that hasn't filled in that form and is so inclined, it should be at the back, like the next one. Oh, yep, there we go. So if anybody has, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds just to fill that in, and then I am going to, each of your responses are numbered. I'm going to go to my friend Google, generate a random number, and then award someone these headphones, which I have somewhere in this bag. Here they are. Shall I just, here they are. Really? Yep. Yep. No, as in absolutely the same one, because that's the picture I took earlier. Put it on the screen. So yeah, I can see there's a couple of people with their phones out. So I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes for that because everybody is highlighted. I think there's an opportunity for us to say thank you to Slalom. And to my knowledge, apart from the questioning, I think the tech has mainly held up pretty well. I'm going to move on before someone has a chance to contradict me, but I just want to say it's lovely to see people back in person. And it's lovely to also be able to do a hybrid event. Right? So I value the fact that I can join some events online when I can't make it to places, but still feel connected. So thank you very much. Those of you that are in the room, are you still filling in the form? Yep, see some nodding. Okay, so I'm still filling. Jimson, would you, any other words that you'd like to add that are better than mine?
Oh, the next meetup will be a joint meetup with the Pardot Group or the Marketing Cloud Account Enablement Group, Monday, December 12th at Mason Frank, which is just around the corner from here. 99% confirmed, but it should be on the 12th. Football's on the 13th semifinal game, which is why it's the 12th. Pray there's no train strike. And yeah, I look forward to see you there. Should I put the other slide of all the other meetups? Because no, I think we're okay. No, we're okay. No.
So I won't have had everybody's responses, but if you go to the next slide, I have done some what can only be described as some. Oh no, I haven't. Good. I had updated my slide. Yeah, it's meant to be. And we'll see how this real time is working. Can you?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm updating the next slide. I'm not, clearly I am, but I'm not. So I'm just going to read them out. Right. So people have asked for some more demonstrations, which I think we all echo. And sometimes that's just a challenge for us because you can't get a dev org. So it relies on a client actually showing us their org. So if you work at a client and you'd love to show us your org, we would love to hear about it. Also talking about intelligence. So that would be, I think, Datarama. There we go. I'm just randomly reading from this list of this really small text, which you may not be able to see. But things like some of the tools that we've talked about today. So Einstein, and then also showing some real live use cases. So we do hear that. If you have any friends or colleagues that work at organizations that might want to talk to us about their use cases, we would also love to do that. Tom, if you would ever love to talk to us about any use cases you've implemented, not obviously sharing clients' names or anything like that, but just in general principle, people are desperate to get hands-on with the product. Louise, who has access to maybe the product with some demos and things, you might love to speak at our event. I'm seeing that's definitely a yes. That's almost a nodding. So tutorials, and we know that we have new people that join or people that are not using Marketing Cloud at present that would like to know more. So thank you. I mean, much of this has sort of reaffirmed what we already know, but I do really appreciate that you've let us know. Any commentary on that while I do some sort of magic prize draw?
Like I said, there's 19 products in Marketing Cloud, so we can easily cover a topic or two every month. Right? We can do, Email Studio, we can do Datarama, we can do Interaction Studio. All that falls under the Marketing Cloud bucket. So I think every month there's always something new. The problem is that most people know Marketing Cloud as Email Studio, right? Email templates and sends and data extensions, and that's it. You only get a chance to work with big companies and big projects when you work with like MuleSoft and Interaction Studio, right? It's tough to get the more expensive products to work with. But still, I think we have a lot to talk about. Again, Social Studio is discontinued. We can do one on Sprout Social, even though it's not an official Salesforce product, but there are connectors. Yeah, there's much more. If you didn't add anything, just shout it out now. I can, we'll add it. But okay, here we go. So it's either online or in person.
Yeah, so it is someone that's in person. So I can give these away today without being, and it is Simone or Simone.
Yeah, he's over here.
Amazing.
Thank you, Simone. Okay, so that concludes the session. Again, I want to thank Slalom for hosting the event. Thank you very much. Appreciate the food and venues, technology, and hope to see you. Are we in a rush to leave? We can wait a few minutes.
Can hang around. Yeah.
We can hang around for a bit of networking if you like, and ask some more questions to any one of us. You're staying here for a bit? Yeah, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Just a few minutes. Yeah, fine. A little bit. Ask some questions off the record if you like, and yeah, we'll see you on December 12th, Monday at Mason Frank. Thank you very much, and you'll be there, Zoe. You better be there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Catch your name. Someone's asking your name.
Sachi.
Because people were asking on the chat, like,
Oh, okay.
what's his name? What's his name?
Yeah, Sachi.
They don't care about me or you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's
Okay.
the expert. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But, presentation. That's good.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Are you hanging around longer or are you?
Yeah, maybe.